you so much, Russ. It is 8:59 on Breakfast Television. Nearly 2 million jobs were lost in Canada last month due to COVID-19. Our Greg Harper is covering this story for us this morning. And Greg, this was expected, but it's still pretty grim when you're looking at these numbers.
Oh, and it's a big number. Good morning, Mary. Here in Coquitlam, I'm seeing it. I would say it's slightly busier here at this transit hub that serves the Tri-Cities. I'm seeing construction taking place behind me, lots of trucks going by as well. So there's still lots of jobs out there. Part of the economy is still alive and well. But the fact of the matter is many jobs have been put on hold or eliminated altogether. Stats Canada with the numbers out this morning. Nearly 2 million jobs were lost in Canada last month. As a result, the unemployment rate has soared nationwide. It's now at 13%. It was at 7.8% back in March. But April is the first full month that the economy was virtually shut down due to the pandemic. The pressure is now on to see if federal and provincial aid programs can help in recovery. Phase 2 of the province's restart plan that's expected to kick in the middle of this month. That should help. What it will look like, though, still lots of questions surrounding that. Bottom line right now, many British Columbians are struggling.
My whole household is out of work right now. I'm the only one working, only one leaving the house. They're all kind of on quarantine at the moment. It's a weird situation, so it's hard. It's really hard.
Fortunately, my wife's keeping her job. She works at a retirement home, and I work night shift at Home Depot. So yeah, our jobs are pretty solid.
I know quite a few people who have lost jobs in many different sectors, actually, different areas and fields. I am currently working. I'm an essential worker. I work with children in childcare. However, my hours have been cut in half, so I'm working part-time now as well.
You factor in that 1 million Canadians lost work in March, so you add that to the April tally. So that's 3 million. Another million plus gave up looking for work just because there are no job opportunities. So that puts it north of 4 million. So there we're getting a little bit closer to the 6.7 million people who have either applied for EI or that emergency wage benefit out of Ottawa. So, it's just historically bad. We've never seen a collapse in the labor market this quickly.
BC's finance minister is expected to update the job situation here in BC very shortly. We're going to have that live, and we'll have the very latest on this, of course, on City News at 6 and 11 as well. Mary?
All right, thank you so much, Greg. That's our Greg Harper reporting in Coquitlam. Well, words of caution from BC's provincial health officer. We are still in phase 1. A day after the province unveiled its restart plan, Dr. Bonnie Henry is reminding everyone that restrictions will start to loosen after the Victoria Day long weekend. As we head into this next phase, Dr. Henry says not everyone will be ready to move at the same pace.
So if I'm somebody who has somebody in my family, if I have an elder who's living with me, then I want to be more cautious about what I'm doing. Or if I'm going back to work and my children are going to daycare or they're going to spend time with my grandparents, then maybe we don't have them have play dates with their other children right now. So we still need to be cautious. This is not going back to where we were in December, where we had multiple mixing and congregating. We still want to keep close, but we need to expand. We all need that social interaction.
Henry says 2 more people have died from COVID-19 and 33 new cases were reported on Thursday. There are now 2,288 cases in BC. The province is reporting no new outbreaks, and no new cases have been reported at the poultry plants or Mission Prison. Health Minister Adrian Dix has announced a plan to address the backlog of surgeries created by COVID-19 restrictions. He says it could take 2 years to tackle the waiting list that has grown to 93,000 patients. Dix says the province plans to hire more staff, expand hours, open new spaces like private clinics. Surgeries will resume May 18th. All operating rooms should be running at full capacity by mid-June. Well, you can expect some major changes the next time you go to the hair salon as many BC businesses adjust to the new normal. David Zura explains.
Over the last couple of weeks, it's been a little bit of a struggle.
Your next visit to the salon or barbershop is likely going to feel a little bit different. Earlier this week, the province announced plans to get the economy back on track, allowing certain businesses to reopen later this month, like the Warehouse Hair Company in Surrey. They just opened their doors on February the 1st. Then as the effects of the pandemic started to deepen, they were then forced to close them again after only about 6 weeks in business. Ria and Lisa run the business together and have been preparing to open under new guidelines and have agreed to walk us through some of the changes we should expect to see.
When you come in for a service now and you've pre-booked your appointment, you're going to text us when you're outside and we're going to let you know when it's safe to come in. And then once you come in, we have a station set up for you. You can sanitize your hands. If you need a mask, we have masks available for you and gloves. When we have stylists in here, as we will function 4 stations at once. And then once the service is over, we will sanitize the stations and then move to another chair. So we'll always be staggered with enough distance between each guest. We do have a barber side to our salon. So we do have a barber station set up here. So she will be working on her own and we'll sanitize from client to client. And then we have our back room area. We have 3 sinks, so because we want to socially distance it, we have shut down our middle sink, so we will only be functioning 2 of the sinks for our color services.
And yes, you should expect to see whoever's working on your hair to be wearing gloves and a mask. And when it comes time to actually paying for your haircut or whatever other service, maybe a color that you got, what's that going to look like? Has that changed as well?
Everything is touchless and through email and text. We do have a portable system that we can take to stations.
At the same time, the Beauty Council of Western Canada says it's hearing a mix of optimism and concern from the industry and is asking us for patience for what might be a rocky start.
The salons aren't going to be the place that you remember them to be. They are always a place of fun, music, talking, hugging. Now you're going to have to do that physical distancing. You probably won't be allowed to talk much, especially during certain services, like possibly shampooing. People are going to be in a mask. It will be a different experience. So we're hoping that people will be patient and understand as every beauty professional goes through this transition.
We are just ready to reopen, and we are ready to get back to work and get back behind the chairs and see our guests again.
In Surrey, David Zura, City News.
The president of the BC Teachers Federation says provincial standards for health and safety must be established at schools across the province. Her comments follow BC's restart plan, which outlined a partial return to school for students. No dates were given, and it will be voluntary. 9:07 here on BT Vancouver. With Mother's Day around the corner, some local businesses say the COVID-19 pandemic is not getting in the way of celebrating our beloved moms. Miranda Fatour has this story.
Mother's Day is almost here, and there's no shortage of ways to celebrate your loved ones. Despite the global pandemic, a Vancouver florist says business has been blooming.
Mother's Day seems to be very happening because people are cooped up at home and they need flowers. They need something to make them happy.
It's the busiest weekend for many businesses in the Lower Mainland, such as florists and restaurants. But even though you can't bring mom out for her favorite brunch, you can still get treats and other gifts delivered right to her door.
A lot of deliveries, contactless deliveries, and a lot of some pickups. But we're busy. Maybe this situation, the health situation, has given people more thoughts about how often they see their parents, their mothers, and families, and I think that the celebration is more vibrant because of that.
Another popular way to spend the day is by treating your mom like royalty. Garden Tea Company has already sold out of their special Mother's Day high tea to go.
We're working really hard on packaging and online orders, and so it's the same beautiful food, just in a different format.
And our dining room is filled with over 500 boxes they're all stacked up, and it's just a very different feeling from a normal Mother's Day.
And an idea for those social distancing from their mothers. A&T Equestrian is renting out their spacious property to families who want to get some fresh air and have a Mother's Day picnic, promising that there's enough space to keep everyone safe.
People who are in different households, families are definitely welcome to book and come together with social distancing, obviously, in place. We've got enough space that 2 families or 3 families could come and still say hundreds of feet apart. We've got a lot of space for them.
But if you want to show your mom some love with a big hug, it's up to you to decide whether that's safe.
If my mom was here, I'd want to hug her on Mother's Day, but these are choices that you have to make. We're not prescribing to British Columbians who they interact with.
Whether it's in person, over the phone, or through video, there are plenty of ways to make this Mother's Day extra special. And to my mom on Vancouver Island, happy Mother's Day from a safe distance. In Vancouver, Miranda Fatour, City News.
Oh, that's nice, Miranda. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, too. And speaking of Mother's Day, I'm going to send it over to Thor.
That's right. We got a great giveaway with a Mother's Day twist, Mary. Thank you very much. You could win Mom.